All right, hi guys, good morning. How are you all? Oh, I see a lot of students have joined already. That's great. So, am I clearly visible and audible? Please let me know in the comments. And thank you for registering for the financial modeling and investment banking. So, today we have Kunal Soni with us. He is an investment banker and he is the founder of White Owl Ventures. And he has been working in the industry from about a lot of time and he has the right expertise. So I'd like to welcome Kunal on the live. So hi Kunal, how are you? Good morning.
Hey, hi, Rohan. Good morning. Sorry, good afternoon. I'm good. I'm doing good. Thanks. Thank you
All
so
right,
much for
so
inviting me out here.
uh, please let us know in the comments if Kunal is clearly visible and audible, and then we can start with the today's session. All right, Mayank Yadav says yes. Okay, yes. All right, so Kunal, uh, you can take it over from here.
Sure. Thanks, Rohan.
If you want to share
So,
your screen, please share your
firstly,
screen.
yeah, sure. So, firstly, just let me just give you a small brief about myself. I'm the founder of White Owl Ventures. We are an investment banking firm since around a couple of years now. I have nearly 12 years of experience in this industry, working in India and London. Um, Worked on more than 80 deals now. Might be more than 80. I have stuff keeping accounts now. So worked on many deals so far in various sectors, beginning from logistics, then infrastructure, consumer goods. So I feel I have some knowledge about financial modeling and valuation, and I just thought of sharing with you guys through that alone. And so before starting and going into Excel, I just wanted to understand that. Um, so let me just first tell you that it is this is not going to be very technical kind uh, uh, of a discussion. I really want it to be on both the sides, and so firstly, think of any financial model or any business as simple as you can. What do I mean by that is just think of any business which is you might come across every day. Say, for example, a vada pav wala, or a chai wala, or something you take it from grocery store, a grocery store basically. So just think of any business in that line. What happens in that? Just break each and every part. You will make your own financial model in no time. So firstly, just to begin, giving an example of say vada pav wala or chai wala. Say what all things is required from to start a chai wala business. Can anyone tell me out here? I'm not able to see how many people are there, but yeah, if anyone can tell me what is required to start a chai wala business or a vada pav business. Very simple question. Yeah, a thela. What next? What ingredients require? चाय तो सब पीते होंगे, I'm sure. Coffee, chai, something. Mm-hmm. Correct. So, so yes, you guys are correct. Raw materials, sugar, milk, so and so. So just to break it up, uh, say I'm just taking it as uh, a chai wala business. Okay. So chai wale ke liye, I would require a thela or say a table or something like that. What is that? That is my capex investment. मेरा धंधा शुरू करने के लिए पहला इन्वेस्टमेंट, इसको कहते हैं हम इक्विटी. Just keep it very simple, don't get it too complicated. Simple thing. I am a chai wala. I started a chai wala business. I require a table or a thela. So I bought that and I kept it. So that is my capex or initial investment or equity, you can say. Now I started my business. A business start करने के लिए, you guys are absolutely right. You require various things like utensils, chai patti, so and so. Now let me just break it out here. Utensils. Think of utensils as your machinery. अब जो स्टोव है, that you're not going to buy every day, right? You bought it, you're going to use it every day. Now, until unless you don't have a stove or a utensil, you won't be able to make a tea or anything. So that is your machinery, what we normally call as plant and machineries in any business. Now let me come to one more part, which you said milk, chai patti, sugar, so and so. Now that is your raw materials or cost of goods, COGS. I'm not sure if people are very well versed out here with COGS and so terms. But so that is your raw material. Without that, you will not be able to do your business. Now, okay. Now, first day I came on the business. I said, यार मुझे तो पता ही नहीं है कि यार अब इसमें कितने का चाय बेचना है और कितने रुपए का चाय बेचेंगे. So I tried it and I sold it for like, okay, चलो ठीक है, let me sell it for 5 rupees per cup. So I sold around 100 cups in a day. 5 rupees में 100 cups a day. What is my revenue in a day? Can anyone tell me? Simple question. 100 cups I sold in a day for 5 rupees. What is my revenue for that day? Yep. Yes, perfect. 500 rupees. Now this is per day. If I have to just multiply this with 30, it will become my monthly revenue. Correct? If I do that same maths for 365 days, becomes my annual revenue. Now, beauty of business is it is not going to be 500 rupees every day, right? So then what to do? कैसे करें? No problem. Take an average of that. तो मोटा मोटी you will come to know कि what is the amount per month or per year. So that's how you derive revenue. So what did I do to derive revenue? What all things I require? Price, quantity. Two things just to get the revenue in चाय वाला business. अब ये हो गया हमारा revenue. Let's come to cost. Cost is also similar thing what I did for revenue. अब आपने कहा कि I would require a चाय पत्ती, I would require milk, I would require so and so and so. So I wrote it down on each and every piece of paper. I just wrote it down कि चलो ठीक है यार, ये इस तरह से करते हैं. I understood कि यार मैंने इतना, I bought 5 kg sugar, I got 10 liters of milk and so and my around my cost came to nearly 2000 rupees or say 5000 rupees in a month. 5000 rupees a month. Okay. Now my cost is 5000 rupees per month and my revenue per month, somebody has written out here, yes, 15,000 rupees per month is my revenue. What is my profit? Simple question. Perfect. Karan, yeah, your bank on. 10,000 rupees is my profit. But is this whole profit? Should I consider that as my whole profit? No. अब इसमें आपने बहुत सारी चीज काउंट नहीं की. सो दिस इज माई ग्रॉस प्रॉफिट. ये खाली रॉ मटेरियल निकाला है, बाकी सब खर्चा भी बाकी है. व्हाट इज बाकी सब खर्चा? माई सैलरी, यार मैं पूरा दिन पूरा महीना काम कर रहा हूँ, आई वुड टेक समथिंग फ्रॉम द बिजनेस, so I will take some amount from there. Now, of course, any business in India, especially chai wala, will not work without giving anything to the DMC guys or something or the other, or under the table I'll say. इसको पैसा दिया, count that as well for the cost, वो भी minus हुआ. You'll require gas, you'll require electricity, all these cost gets deducted. तो फिर आपके पास समझो फॉर एग्जांपल you have 10,000 rupees as your gross profit. Let's put it in the numbers, okay? So I paid 1,000 rupees for my electricity. Then I said, okay, then let me take 2,000 rupees for myself. Then 1,000 rupees some other miscellaneous expenses, यहाँ वहाँ किसी को देने के लिए, and 1,000 rupees further for under the table or something or the other. What is my profit now? So 1,000, 2,000, again 1,000, and again 1,000. 5,000, of course, I'll remove from my gross profit. So yes, Gaurav is right. So 5,000 is my profit, but that's again not a net profit. That is my ebitda, what I call it as ebitda. Now, what is this ebitda? This is all fancy term, just like the doctors use for their various medicine. We, the accounts guys, we use all these fancy terms, ताकि, just for it looks fancy basically. Being very frank. So, so yeah, this 5,000 rupees which is remaining is called ebitda. Now, it is what is the full form of EBITDA? Earning before interest, tax, depreciation, and amortization. A pretty long name to by heart, so that's the reason we call it as pretty simple as EBITDA. Now, what does this EBITDA means? इसमें अभी और क्या खर्चा बाकी है? सब तो निकाल दिया. Now there are few expenses which is it's up to you. अगर वो expense गिनोगे या नहीं गिनोगे. Say for example, to start a business, I require 10,000 rupees to put a thela or a table or something to put as a shed. Okay. अब 10,000 rupees मेरे पास नहीं है. 10,000 rupees की जगह मैं क्या करूँ? So I said, okay, I'll go to someone and I'll take a loan. तो 5,000 rupees मैंने रोहन के पास से लोन ले लिया. Rohan said, okay, fine, I'll give you 5,000 rupees, but I'll charge you interest. I'll charge you interest for 10% every year. Now 5,000 rupees ka 10% is 500 rupees every year. Okay. Now 500 rupees every year I have to pay to Rohan. That is again my another cost. This is called interest cost. EBITDA, earning before interest, tax, depreciation, amortization. That means कि जो interest cost है उसके पहले का. अब इसके अंदर से आप इंटरेस्ट निकालो कि यार मैंने लोन लिया, पैसा तो देना पड़ेगा. सो नाउ आई रिमूव दैट कॉस्ट. अब क्या बचा? आप बोलोगे कि यार अब तो सारे खर्चे हो गए, अब क्या प्रॉब्लम है? अब ऑफ कोर्स एवरीथिंग यू बाय हैज इट्स ओन शेल्फ लाइफ, राइट? योर कंप्यूटर, योर टेबल और योर whatever you buy has its own shelf life. Say, it has its like 5 years, 10 years. तो आप कैलकुलेट कैसे करें कि यार इसकी शेल्फ लाइफ क्या है, या तो फिर ये शेल्फ लाइफ को हम अपने कॉस्ट में से कैसे हटाएं? इज इट एन एक्चुअली अ कॉस्ट? इज इट एक्चुअली गोइंग आउट ऑफ माय पॉकेट? सो नो, दिस इज नॉट अ कैश फ्लो आइटम. It is actually a non-cash item, but you have to remove it from your profit and loss statement. Why do I have to remove it? That's because I have put some investment. Uska expense is also counted in that financial year which I have used. Like for example, I told you I have used a stove, I have used utensil. Of course वो utensil 2 साल के बाद, 6 महीने के बाद या 1 साल के बाद या स्टोव वो खराब हो जाएगा, आप दूसरा लोगे. अब वो खराब हो गया तो उसका कुछ ना कुछ तो एक्सपेंस दिखाना होगा. Yes, you are right, it's called depreciation. Now that depreciation is again subtracted from your EBITDA. वो डेप्रिसिएशन माइनस करने के बाद जो आपके पास अमाउंट आता है, दैट्स कॉल्ड पीबीटी, प्रॉफिट बिफोर टैक्स. ऑफ कोर्स टैक्स तो देना ही है, anyone and everyone. And by the way, consider, thinking about tax, today is the last day for filing your IT returns. I'm not sure how many of you guys are filing the returns, but if you guys haven't, so please do it today itself after the session. So after the tax, say for example, because I'm into a business which is not making more than say a lakh rupees per month, per year, so I will not have to pay tax. So there is a threshold for each and every businesses that you have to go and check into taxation side. I won't get deep into that, but yes. So after that tax amount, whatever profit you get, it's called PAT, profit after tax. That amount is your actual net profit. This is how you actually create a whole profit and loss statement. Simple as that. Now let me just go to a Excel file and show you कि क्या कैसे ये actual business में use होता है. I hope everyone is able to see my screen. Cool. So just remember what I had just told you, and don't get confused or say overwhelmed by this all this Excel or say this very numbers. This is just a gimmick, or you can just say a pretty simple thing, or a calculation. If you do it on the piece of paper, you will exactly get the same thing. So don't get too fancied by all those things. It is just for our explanation, and this is a dummy number. This is a dummy company. There is a no name or something given out here. It's just numbers which we guys have created, and you so don't consider that this is XYZ company. Then we have actually created this so that we can show you different kind of revenues, different types of revenues. Like one currently we discussed for chai wala was a quantity business, was something which is day and day out business, जिसमें कोई आपका उधार या कुछ नहीं होगा. होता है but not that much. So second is a subscription kind of a model where you get subscription for Amazon or Netflix or something like that, right? You guys buy it. So उसका subscription का revenue कैसे होता है? So I'll just go through this company and make you understand that how does a business operate in a corporate level, and how does a financial model gets built for all these companies. So now just imagine this company is into uh, you can say machineries. They are into heavy machineries. Now many of these machineries, just to give you a background and to make you understand, I'm giving you this brief. So what did we think while building this model? um, uh, this company is into heavy machineries, and they are into uh, you know your construction work. Now of course these days you see a lot of construction work for metro or any other places in Mumbai. uh, you will see various machineries like JCB and so and so. Now, these all machineries are not bought by various companies. They are in fact rented by various people or even use it on a regular basis. Okay. So we thought कि ठीक है, ये machineries को ही हम दिखाते हैं, and let's show us the business. So just wanted to show कि हर एक उसका business कैसे derive होता है. How do they derive the revenue for each and every year? So I'll just go through 1 year, and the same formula will be dragged for all the years going forward. Okay. So just let me start with the revenue drivers. Just keep in mind what I did for the chai wala business. Just keep in mind that, and use the same logic out here. Nothing fancy. So first I'm saying that there is sales for brokerage based sales. Now what is brokerage based sales? I'm saying that okay, I sold this machinery from party A to party B, and I got this much of brokerage. Let me just check. so you guys can understand and see this in detail. So what have I done? I've just taken this revenue out here, add in total. So what I'm saying is there are different products. Say there is a product A, product B, product C, and so on. Okay. Now इसका revenue कैसे derive किया? Say product A का quantity ये है. Just forget about tons and so and so. Just think in this way कि यार एक वड़ा पाव है, एक समोसा पाव है, एक bhajia hai, and so and so. Sorry, I'm using all these terms, but this is how I normally tell my juniors to understand a business in this way. Forget about all this fancy machineries and so. समझो कि मैंने similar similar logic I have used out here. I'm saying okay, what is my revenue? Let me just go into this model and deep and make you understand. Okay, so I'm saying the cost of the machinery out here, sorry, cost of the machinery is nearly 15 lakh rupees. ओके, ये मशीन का 15 लाख है. अब मैंने कितनी क्वांटिटी ऐसी बेची है? So I'm just saying out here, expected number of equipment sold. अब I said I have a brokerage business. That means I'll be charging some percentage, 1%, 2%, something or the other. So I'm charging 2% on this machinery. So if you check my formula, it's the same thing, exactly same thing I've done. This is the revenue I've got. On a similar line, I've done this for different products. And then in the end, I've just added this. Simple as that. वैसे ही second product, third product, and so on. Okay. Now let's just go to some other kind of subscription revenue. Something what your Netflix and all those people they derive their revenue in this way. So we say subscription revenue. What is a subscription revenue? Say somebody said, "Okay, I want this product for this many months at this price." So what I've done is, I said, "Okay, charges per subscription. Just think of this as a Netflix or Amazon business. They're charging you 199 rupees per month. In that way, you just think it's a 12,000 rupees per month. और हमने कितने महीने के लिए बेचा? कितने कितने इक्विपमेंट्स बेचे? Number of paid equipments is this much. So number of subscriptions into my charges per month gives me that revenue for that month. So in that way, I have derived the revenue out here. Various different types of revenue. I won't go detailing each and everything. I'll I'll ask these guys to share the link where you can find this model and you can go in detail. Now, this is how I derived my revenue. Now, of course, uh, because my business is a bit complicated, it will have various other costs. Now, it is not as simple as my chai wala or normal vada pav seller, right? So, I would have various costs out here. So, first I'll have an office, something which you said ठेला ठीक है उसका rent दिया. So out here we have an office rent because people have to sit and do all those things. Now of course my business is growing bigger, so I'll say ठीक है, not only in Mumbai, I need my offices in London, I need my offices in Delhi, Jakarta and Australia and so and so. सब जगह पे मैंने ऑफिस रख दिया तो उसका रेंट में दे रहा हूँ. Now these days, of course, you guys know what is this cost, website and all those things. You have to pay, and you have to show that this is what we do. That's a cost. This is the maintenance cost. Now, various other costs I have calculated. One thing I want you to notice out here, I haven't included gross profit out here, or I haven't calculated any other cost. The reason behind that, this kind of business will not have gross profit because it is a subscription model or something which I do not possess any raw material. What do I mean by that is in a business where you are manufacturing, in that gross revenue or say gross margin makes sense. However, in business like Netflix or Amazon, gross there is no gross revenue, because there is nothing which you are manufacturing every month, or which you have which you have to get hold of raw material cost every month, no, or every year. So that's the reason gross margin will not make sense in this kind of business. Then what will make sense? Then in that case, directly your EBITDA margin will make sense. So hence, all this cost calculated, I got total expenses. Now I'll just show you one cost just to understand, how do I derive the cost, and something which will be easier for you. Okay, rent is pretty much straight. So if I go to any of these cost structure, I'm just doing a YOY growth on most of these expenses. However, my only cost, which is pretty much higher or say different, is the number of employees, because my business depends on the number of people or employees in my company. So what I did was, हर एक का हमने नाम डेजिग्नेशन दिया, कितने लोग हैं, how many people are there, then give a salary per head of each and every person, and do a total employee cost. As simple as that. There is nothing complicated in this. Clear? Now, I would like to stop out here and ask if there is any question. Any question so far in for revenue or cost drivers? Rohan, I can't hear you. Sorry, Rohan, can't hear you. Still can't hear you. No, I don't think so. There are any questions so far. Fine, I'll just move ahead and start sharing my screen. Yeah, I can hear you now, Rohan.
Guys, please, if you have any questions, put them in the chat so that we can answer them. Okay. All right, Kura. I don't think there are any questions from their end, so we can continue further.
Okay, I'll share my screen again and go back to the model. Okay, now coming back to where we were, expenses. So now I have total revenue. Now I have total expenses. जिसमें सैलरी ये वो सब expenses आ गया. So now I got what we call as EBITDA, earning before interest, tax, depreciation, amortization, the so-called fancy term. Now, as I said, कि यार लोन लिया है तो इंटरेस्ट तो चुकाना होगा. Here it is my interest cost. This business we haven't taken any loan, so we do not have any interest expenses out here. Okay. Now, how do I derive depreciation? Now, this is something which is a bit tricky and something which most of the businesses use to save tax. How do I save tax by this? Just imagine, uh, चलो ठीक है, let me get back to that vada pav business only, or say chai wala business. Now, just imagine, I got a profit or say EBITDA of, so chai wala was making nearly what, 5,000 rupees per month net profit, or say EBITDA. Now, let me just think that okay, for a whole year, that chai wala is making nearly 60,000 rupees. Just or let me just round it up to 1 lakh rupees, okay, just for our ease. Now 1 lakh rupees उसने कमाया, वो बोला यार ये पूरा का पूरा इसमें तो मैं अभी टैक्स कहाँ भरने बैठूँ. So then he thought के let me go to some CA or somebody whom I can ask यार इसमें टैक्स कैसे बचाना है. So my friends who are CA, he just told him that एक काम कर यार तू depreciation लगा दे. Now that चाय वाला, poor चाय वाला, he doesn't even know what is depreciation. He said कि चलो सर आप जो बोलो कर लो. So अब depreciation ऐसा तो नहीं है कि आई कैन जस्ट चार्ज वॉट एवर आई वॉन्ट. मैं बोल दूँ कि नहीं यार पूरा का पूरा लाख रुपए का डेप्रिसिएशन है, या फिर वॉट एवर रैंडम अमाउंट. दैट्स नॉट पॉसिबल, राइट? दैट्स टू क्विक. So then what do I do? So each and every line item or each and every uh, product or things which we use for business are divided into two categories. One is tangible, one is intangible. Now, what is intangible? Intangibles are your softwares, your websites, something which is not touchable, which is not tangible. That's called your intangible assets, your goodwill. Now, what is tangible? Machinery, so and so. ठीक है, दैट आई अंडरस्टूड. अभी मशीनरीज है, कंप्यूटर्स है, ये है वो है, अलग अलग बिजनेस में अलग अलग चीज़ें होती है. नाउ इन दिस बिजनेस वी हैड these all these all assets. So this is my asset book. तो हमने एक लैंड एंड बिल्डिंग ली, हमने कुछ फर्नीचर्स लिए, हमने कुछ इक्विपमेंट्स लिए, और बाद में सिर्फ आईटी के हार्डवेयर, सॉफ्टवेयर एंड सो लिए. ठीक है. अब हमने कहा ठीक है यार, अब ले तो लिए, अब इसको दिखाएं कैसे. सो वी सेड ठीक है सर, लेट्स डू वन थिंग, लेट्स पुट इट इन दिस वे. हमने जिस साल को इसको लिया, विल पुट इट एज एन एडिशन. अब सो हाउ डू वी actually make this kind of how do we show this kind of depreciation table, or say asset table, I'll say, in this way. We have opening balance, then we have additions, then we have one more item out here called deletions. I'll tell you what it is. Then we have closing balance. अब ये तो सही है, चलो ठीक है, हमने अब होता क्या है इसके अंदर, opening balance. Now any of my opening balance is nothing but just what is your this asset as on 1st April of that year. मतलब मेरा फाइनेंशियल ईयर स्टार्ट हुआ वो टाइम पे आपके पास एसेट कितने थे. तो हमने कहा सर इतने थे. फिलहाल तो कुछ नहीं है. हमने बाद में 1 जून को हमने खरीदा, तो वी विल पुट इट इन दी एडिशंस. देन अब पूरे साल में क्या हमने इसमें से कुछ बेचा, हैव वी सोल्ड एनीथिंग आउट ऑफ दिस 80 lakhs? नथिंग, वी हैवंट सोल्ड एनीथिंग. ठीक है. तो मेरा क्लोजिंग बैलेंस एज ऑन 31st March ऑफ नेक्स्ट ईयर would be this much. This plus this minus this. Pretty clear, right? अब हमने कहा डेप्रिसिएशन कैसे चार्ज करें. हमने कहा ठीक है, लैंड एंड बिल्डिंग का हम लोग डेप्रिसिएशन चार्ज करते 10%. नाउ लेट मी be very clear out here. There is never a depreciation on land. Land is the only asset in the world which has no depreciation. You can never charge depreciation of any percentage on land. It's as per the given guidelines of accountancy. Okay. Now, so when I say land and building, what I mean is by actual building जो खड़ा है for that machinery and all those things, उसके लिए हमने ये depreciation count किया है. Could be an office building, could be anything. So I'll just charge 10% on my closing balance. ठीक है. अब next year मेरे पास, so when I go for next year, it is just nothing but my closing balance of my previous year is an opening balance of my next year. How? 31st March को इतना खत्म हुआ था, 1st April को इतना शुरू होगा. There is nothing in between. And that's how this whole cycle was. पर एक मिनट, 80,000 में से मैंने सॉरी 80 लाख में से मैंने 8 लाख तो डेप्रिसिएशन माइनस कर दिया था, तो फिर भी 80 लाख से कैसे बचा है? So now this is my gross block. This is what we call as gross block. Okay. In that case, we will just similar to this asset. What I have done out here is I have taken various assets. उन सबका assets सबका depreciation मैंने add किया है, and then I have given additions और बाद में आगे हमने उसको माइनस कर दिया है. So you've just subtracted total depreciation from the total gross block. So what I mean is this is my gross block. This is my depreciation. Actually, my net block for this year would be this minus this, which will be gone out here in balance sheet. I'll come to that point. Let's not confuse ourselves with balance sheet current. Now, how do I get this depreciation amount? This is where I got it from. ये मेरा depreciation है. तो मैंने क्या किया, हर एक को 10%, 15%, 20%, 33%. Now these all percentages are again given in the your by your accountancy guidelines. Various terms का various depreciation होता है. Now again don't get confused with यार accountancy book में कौन सा कहाँ पर है. No need to do that thing. Most of the companies whom you are making a financial model, I'm sure you will be making pretty soon after this, and most of the companies will actually tell you कि this is our depreciation terms. आप 10% कैलकुलेट करो, और जस्ट टेक अ सिमिलर कंपनी एंड लुक एट देयर बैलेंस शीट, यू विल कम टू नो, और जस्ट लुक एट देयर एसेट टेबल जो आपको नोट्स में मिलेंगे. यू विल सी इन द कंपनी फाइनेंशियल नोट्स. ओके. नाउ एबिटा तक आ गए थे. इंटरेस्ट कॉस्ट कुछ है नहीं, हम हमारे पास सब पैसे थे तो हमने इंटरेस्ट लिया ही नहीं, किसी से लोन लिया ही नहीं है. डेप्रिसिएशन किया, जस्ट subtract all of these items, you will get PBT, profit before tax. Now of course you have to pay the taxes. This is called corporate tax. This yeah, let me just differentiate that. This is a corporate tax, this is not your income tax, huh? And your profit after tax is this minus this. This is basically your net profit. Now you might have seen कि ये हमने वेरियस बहुत सारी चीज़ें इसमें करके रखी है. YOY ग्रोथ, यहाँ पे भी YOY ग्रोथ, इसमें और भी चीज़ें आती है, बहुत सारे दूसरे एनालिसिस भी आते हैं. लेट मी जस्ट शो व्हाट वी हैव actually thought of showing you guys. So let me just see what all we have covered so far. So basics of financial modeling, which we just saw. So in any financial model, three statements are pretty much required. Of course, one is your profit and loss statement, second one is your balance sheet, third is your cash flow. Now all the other sheets which is there, which I've showed you, is the supporting of your of these three sheets. So your asset sheet is again supporting of your balance sheet and your P&L. Then drivers of the company, which we just discussed currently, that how do we go for revenue drivers, cost drivers. Forecasting, again I showed you कि YOY growth में आप cost लगा सकते हो, और cost as a percentage of sales आप लगा सकते हो, या फिर अगर if you know how much quantity or expect how much quantity we're going to sell going forward, then you can forecast in that way. Normally any financial model will have 5 years of forecasting. We don't go beyond 5 years because it's very uncertain to go after 5 years. What happens is only few businesses which we have or say determined uh, uh, various revenue, or say what I mean by determined revenue is कि हमें पता है कि यार 5 साल के बाद भी इसका रेवेन्यू इतना ही रहेगा. ना विच काइंड ऑफ बिजनेसेस आर देयर? टोल बिजनेस, जैसे इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर रोड पे आप जो टोल भरते हो, वो मुझे पता है कि 5 साल के बाद भी इतनी गाड़ियां यहाँ से पास होगी. दैट एसेट विल स्टिल बी देयर, एंड दैट give me this much of revenue. So all such kind of business, port, tolls, then your most of this infra businesses is the one I'm talking about, will have uh, more than 5 years of forecast, or or model. Uh, but most of the business we normally make, or any in the industry, is for 5 years forecasting. Okay. Now this part we have already covered. We'll now jump to balance sheet and cash flow analysis. So any question so far in the P&L statement? This is my income statement or P&L statement, profit and loss statement, normally what we call. Any question so far in that? So Karan has actually asked me a question saying, what is royalty? Karan, correct me if I'm wrong. You're saying, is there any royalty which we are paying? Royalty कहाँ पर जाएगा? ये बोल रहे हो आप? If that's the question, royalty is again your cost, which we have to pay to the respective people or respective person who's holding that asset. Now, normally royalty किसके लिए charge करते हैं? If I am using my goodwill, or if I'm giving my asset to someone. Now, when I say asset, it could be anything. Could be tangible, could be intangible as well. So that's the cost which we normally offer. Any other questions so far? I hope everyone understood how do we determine revenue, uh, or cost drivers. What is EBITDA? Now, let me also emphasize this very clearly, that your EBITDA margin is something which everyone sees. Every business will have to, every any company will actually check your EBITDA margin, because that's the actual revenue which comes to your books. How to calculate? It's simple. EBITDA divided by number of, what is your revenue. I'll just show you in the Excel again. Any questions so far? Please do put it on the chat. I think we can then discuss it out here. Cool. Let me just jump out here, because I think we are running short of time. So just let me give you an example. How do we calculate EBITDA margin? It is just your EBITDA divided by my total revenue, and then this convert this into percentage. This is my EBITDA margin. Same way, I will determine PBT margin, PAT margin. That's how we determine all this. Same formula. Instead of EBITDA, you will have PBT and we'll have PAT. अब ये पैट तो हो गया, अब इसका क्या करें? ये प्रॉफिट मेरे जेब में है, करेक्ट? पूरा का पूरा तो जेब में नहीं होगा, इसमें बहुत सारी चीज़ें होगी. अब बहुत सारी चीज़ें क्या है? लेट्स गो टू बैलेंस शीट. इफ यू रिमेंबर, वी स्टार्टेड दैट विद एन एग्जांपल सेइंग कि इसमें विद चाय वाला एंड सो, राइट? वी सेड कि ठीक है, हमें या तो वो एसेट लेगा, या तो फिर हमें या तो फिर वो लोन लेगा. सो सॉरी, या तो इक्विटी डालेगा या तो फिर वो लोन लेगा. 10,000 रुपीज आई सेट के बिजनेस था, एंड देन इसमें से हाफ ये भरा, हाफ ये भरा. सो व्हाट आई मीन बाय दैट इज, इक्विटी क्या होता है? व्हाट इज इक्विटी? इक्विटी और से शेयर कैपिटल इज समथिंग विच आई हैव पेड from my pocket to start my own business. That is called your equity. Now, for example, in this business, they have paid this much of, to start with, they started with this much of equity. उन्होंने कहा कि ठीक है, हम लोग ये बिजनेस इस तरह से स्टार्ट कर रहे हैं, और इतना धंधा हम लोग ला रहे हैं, मतलब इतना पैसा हम लोग डाल रहे हैं बिजनेस में. दैट्स कॉल्ड शेयर कैपिटल. नाउ कमिंग टू रिजर्व्स एंड सरप्लस. अब ये रिजर्व्स एंड सरप्लस क्या होता है यार? नथिंग. अब तक बेसिकली रिजर्व एंड सरप्लस इज नथिंग बट अब तक. Now, let me also tell you one thing very important and very crucial. Your P&L statement is always for the year, for that one specific year. But your balance sheet is as on date. What do I mean by that? बैलेंस शीट अब तक तुमने क्या किया है फॉर पास्ट ऑल दिस ईयर, वो सब का लेखा जोखा उस साल में क्या है, उसको कहते हैं बैलेंस शीट. बट P&L जो है, इनकम स्टेटमेंट है, उस साल में क्या हुआ, व्हाट हैपेंड इन 2022, इट ओनली सेज दैट. बैलेंस शीट, व्हाट हैज हैपेंड टिल 2022. That's the big difference in any of the income statement or balance sheet or any of the financial statement. Okay. So अब तक हमने कितना रिजर्व या कितना प्रॉफिट कमाया है, वो जाता है रिजर्व एंड सरप्लस में. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, इफ यू चेक दिस, माई फॉर्मूला वुड बी दिस प्लस माई profit earned for this year. So if you check, it is called C7, which is this cell out here, plus income statement P40. Let me go there. Yep, profit for that year plus previous year का मेरा reserves and surplus, and I have subtracted something out here called other drivers. अच्छा, dividend. Forget about dividend and don't get confused on that. So basically my reserves and surplus is just my previous year's profit, और से जो भी reserves है मेरे पास, वो प्लस इस साल का प्रॉफिट, वो जाता है रिजर्व एंड सरप्लस में. नाउ दिस कुड बी इन पॉजिटिव, दिस कैन बी इन नेगेटिव. अगर मेरा मुझे प्रॉफिट नहीं हुआ लेकिन मुझे लॉस हुआ, तो लॉस भी इसमें ऐड करो, शो इट इन नेगेटिव, इट कैन बी इन नेगेटिव. देन कम्स माय सन्ड्री क्रेडिटर्स. अब क्रेडिटर्स क्या होते हैं? सिंपल है, आप धंधा कर रहे हो. अब इतने अच्छे लोग दुनिया में नहीं रहे कि कहे कि सर आपने पैसा लिया, ये लो, तुरंत पैसा ले लो और मेरे को काम छोड़ दो, मतलब आई एम डन. That never happens in real world. So what is the sundry creditors? Sundry creditors are people for whom we have to pay money. मतलब हमने कहा कि ठीक है, एक काम करो, आप मेरे लिए ये चीज़ बना दो, मैं आपको 1 महीने बाद पेमेंट देता हूँ. मोस्ट ऑफ द बिजनेस वर्क इन दैट वे. सो हमें उन्हें पैसा देना है. दे आर आर क्रेडिटर्स, दे आर आर लाइबिलिटीज. अंडरस्टैंड दिस, दे आर आर लाइबिलिटीज. I'm not going deep into liabilities and assets. This is just to understand कि liabilities वो चीज़ है जो हमें, जो बिजनेस को, उन लोगों को वापस देनी है. एसेट्स वो है जो बिजनेस को वापस, जो बिजनेस के पास है. I'm just putting it in a very simple and layman term, so don't think यार what is he saying. It is simple. Liabilities, हमें उन्हें ये पैसा देना है. एसेट्स, हमारे पास इतना पैसा है. As simple as that. Now creditors are the one जिन्हें हमें पैसा देना है. कभी देना है, कैसे कैलकुलेट किया, सिंपल है. हमने क्या किया, अब क्रेडिटर्स वो होंगे कि जो कहेंगे कि सर आपका है ना, ये कॉस्ट हुआ है, जैसे आपका से मार्केटिंग कॉस्ट या कुछ कॉस्ट हुआ है, तो हमें उनमें पैसा देना होगा इन दिस बिजनेस. अब जस्ट टेक इट इन अगेन इन द एग्जाम्पल विच वी हैव टेकन, जस्ट थिंक इन दैट वे कि रॉ मटेरियल का कुछ भी कॉस्ट हो, वो हमें बाद में देना है, तो उन्हें हमें पैसा देना होगा. तो हमने कहा 30 दिन के बाद आपको पैसा देंगे. Here's your number of days, 30 days. ठीक है, हमने कहा 30 दिन बाद पैसा देंगे. तो हमने क्या किया, सिंपल है, हमने वो कॉस्ट लिए. If I just go to this formula, हमने सिर्फ वो सारे कॉस्ट लिए हैं. I'll just go to one of this cost. ये सारे कॉस्ट लिए हैं. बाद में we have just multiplied it by this 30 divided by 365. अब 365 क्यों? नंबर ऑफ डेज. तो 30 days divided by 365 days. So you will get your actual creditors. एग्जैक्टली सेम तरीके से आप निकालोगे डेटर्स। डेटर्स आर द पीपल जिससे हमें पैसा आना है, ये हमें देना है, ये हमें आना है। These are the receivables, these are the payables. Just to remove the confusion, these are the payables, these are the receivables. So यहाँ से पैसा आना है। नाउ ये हो गया आपका लायबिलिटी साइड। नाउ जस्ट टू टेल यू, दिस इज वेरी सिंपल एंड शॉर्ट बैलेंस शीट। ऑफ कोर्स बैलेंस शीट में बहुत सारी चीज़ें इसमें से और भी ऐड होती है इन लायबिलिटी साइड, other current liabilities, loans and advances. I won't get into that technicality or deep into this because there are various line items which can be added going ahead, and various different companies have a different way of presenting it. But this is just for this session के to make you understand कि exactly balance sheet होती क्या है। Then if you remember I said कि यार मेरे assets, fixed assets क्या है। अब if you check here, हमने यहाँ का अमाउंट और यहाँ पे जो हमने एसेट निकाला था वो अलग है। क्यों? प्रीटी सिंपल, व्हाट आई हैव डन इज, जो हमारे पास टोटल एसेट्स है उसमें से हमने डेप्रिसिएशन माइनस किया है। सो इफ यू रिमेंबर आई टोल्ड यू दिस इज माय नेट, दिस इज माय नेट एसेट एंड दिस इज माय ग्रॉस एसेट। ठीक है, अब हर एक के लिए मैं करने बैठूंगा एंड देन एवरी ईयर मैं इसको प्लस करूंगा। सो बेटर फॉर ईज ऑफ कैलकुलेशन ऐसे ठीक है, सबको प्लस करो, इसमें से टोटल डेप्रिसिएशन माइनस कर दो, so we'll get net fixed asset out here. So we have finished the liability side first. Sorry, didn't say that first. We completed the liability side. Now we're jumping to asset side. In the asset, the first thing is my net fixed asset. बाद में we'll go to debtors. Debtors I just explained, जैसे हमारे पास creditors है वैसे ही debtors same thing होता है। But debtors remember one thing, हम debtors को हमारे रेवेन्यू से डिवाइड करेंगे। यहाँ पे आपने वेरियस कॉस्ट लिया था, फॉर डेटर्स विल टेक रेवेन्यू। ओके, कुड बी एनीथिंग, 60 days 70 days whatever it is, but you will take it from the revenue. Specific revenue you can also take it from specific revenue, कि सिर्फ इन ये सब रेवेन्यू में ही हमें पैसा आना बाकी है, बाकी सबका हो गया, दैट ऑल्सो यू कैन डू। अदरवाइज नॉर्मली इट इज़ अ टेंडेंसी टू टेक अ टोटल ग्रॉस रेवेन्यू जो आपका है, टोटल रेवेन्यू उस पे से आप डिवाइड करके यू कैन टेक इट। Now, what is this other current assets? Now this other current asset is nothing but your could be any further asset which you have created in terms of loans and advances. किसी को आपने एडवांस दे दिया, या किसी से आपने किसी को आपने सैलरी एडवांस में दे दी, that could be your loans and advances, could be your other current assets. अब बचा, अब ये सारा खर्चा हो, ये सारा हमारे पास अमाउंट लायबिलिटी आ गया, ये सारा एसेट आ गया, एंड द बैलेंसिंग फिगर, आई एम अगेन रिपीटिंग, अ बैलेंसिंग फिगर इज योर कैश एंड बैंक बैलेंस। सारा खर्चा निकल गया, सारा जिससे पैसा आना था वो भी कैलकुलेट कर लिया, जिससे जिसको देना है वो भी कैलकुलेट कर लिया। अब जो पैसा बचा है दैट इज योर कैश एंड बैंक बैलेंस। Now coming to the most important, your cash flow. Cash flow is nothing but just a difference between A from previous year to this year, or this year to previous year. I'll just give you example. It is just a balancing figure between कि कितना बड़ा है और कितना घटा है. That is your cash flow. अब हमने इसमें से कैसे how do we actually start the cash flow? It's simple. Where you begin with the profit you have made for the year. This is the profit we made. In that, if you remember, I told you कि जो हमारा डेप्रिसिएशन है दैट इज अ नॉन कैश आइटम, वो एक्चुअली हमारी जेब से जा नहीं रहा, तो हम उसमें डेप्रिसिएशन ऐड बैक कर देते हैं। देन हमारे क्रेडिटर्स जो है, जिसको जिससे हमें पैसे देने हैं, उसको हम ऐड करेंगे। क्यों? क्योंकि अब तक वो कैश गया नहीं है, मेरी जेब से वो कैश अब तक गया नहीं है। जस्ट थिंक ऑफ इट इन दैट वे, कैश फ्लो सिर्फ वही वही चीज़ें हैं जिसमें मुझे एक्चुअली कैश देना है, किसी को कैश देना है, दैट इज माई एक्चुअल कैश फ्लो आइटम। अब ये मेरे पास एक्चुअली में कैश आया है, हाँ आया है। इक्विटी इन्फ्यूजन, हाँ हमने एक्चुअली कैश डाला है इसके अंदर। फिर क्रेडिटर्स, जिसे हमें पैसा देना है उसे हमने अब तक दिया नहीं है, मतलब अब तक वो कैश मेरे जेब में ही है, मैंने अब तक दिया नहीं है, तो उसे हम ऐड करेंगे। तो दिस इज माई इनफ्लोज। अब हम देखते हैं आउटफ्लो क्या है। अगेन, cash flows are different in different companies. We have made this for a simple understanding of inflows and outflows so that you guys can understand this. Ideally, cash flow could be cash flow from investing, cash flow from operations, cash flow from financing. Didn't want it to confuse you, so hence we have created in this way. And now, just for your ease, we have done this thing. So, but it's not wrong way. It's just a different way of doing the things. So now, फिक्स एसेट, जो हमने एसेट खरीदे थे, वो यहाँ पे हमने जो जो एसेट नए लिए हैं, इफ यू जस्ट चेक, दिस इज माय एडिशंस, टोटल एडिशंस आई हैव टेकन। देन द अमाउंट विच इज माय डेटर्स, जिससे मुझे पैसे लेने हैं, अब तक आए नहीं हैं, मुझे और पैसे आएंगे। करंट, अदर करंट एसेट्स, अगेन हमने पैसा दे दिया, एडवांस में दे दिया, तो दैट थिंग। नाउ वी हैव आल्सो सेट के डिविडेंड। डिविडेंड क्या होता है? अब समझो कि मैंने एक बिजनेस किया और उसमें अच्छा खासा प्रॉफिट हुआ। अब मुझे सैलरी तो मिली, लेकिन बोला कि यार इतना सारा पैसा बिजनेस में अटका हुआ है, उससे अच्छा ये पैसा मैं ले लेता हूँ, आई जस्ट यूज इट। तो वो पैसा हम लोग बिजनेस से निकालें कैसे? दैट इज योर डिविडेंड। This is basically the amount given to various shareholders. You might have heard it from various companies or various terminologies these days. कि you get dividend declared, या ये dividend paying stock है, high dividend yield stock है. So this is basically the amount given to the shareholders by the end of the year कि भाई मेरे पास इतना कैश बचा है, is my total outflow. अब this is nothing, just a balance between my inflow and my outflow. What is my closing balance? My opening balance, which was previous year's cash, plus difference between my inflow and outflow, is my closing balance. If you check here, this is the actual amount here. And when you add all these and all these, it has to be same. Your balance sheet has to tally, total liabilities has to be equal to total assets, otherwise your balance sheet is not correct. And most of the my juniors and my other colleagues, they normally make mistake in this area out here. But I think once you make start doing practice and you do this thing, you'll come to know very clear. I know we are running short of time, but just quick questions. We are almost at the end of the session. uh, we'll just show this thing and we'll go to the end of the session soon. So any questions so far in the balance sheet and cash flow? All right, I think we do not have any questions in there. So guys, this is how we do income statement, balance sheet and cash flow. Now coming to the next part, which is your valuing the company and your scenario analysis and your DCF method. So basically, scenario analysis is nothing but just your various scenarios at various levels. So what I mean by that is, अगर मैं revenue drivers को, say for example out here we have taken various number of equipments or say number of quantity sold को अगर मैं इसे बढ़ा दूं या कम कर दूं, देन व्हाट इज माय नेट प्रॉफिट, देन व्हाट इज माय कॉस्ट. That's your scenario analysis. So what we do out here is we create such kind of ratios, we create such kind of uh, analysis just to understand how is the impact on various margins. When we say margins, basically margins is nothing but actually हर एक business में total amount could be higher, but your margin will describe the actual amount coming in or out. What I mean by that is 100 रुपये के धंधे में अगर मैं 20 रुपीज़ कमाता हूँ, सो आई हैव 20% मार्जिन. 1000 रुपये के धंधे में अगर मैं 100 रुपये कमाता हूँ, आई जस्ट हैव 10% मार्जिन. दो द नंबर इज डिफरेंट, बट मार्जिन विल एक्चुअली स्पीक अबाउट द बिजनेस, कीपिंग असाइड द एक्चुअल नंबर. देट विल टेल यू कि भाई धंधा एक्चुअली प्रॉफिट कर रहा है या नहीं कर रहा है. So for just for your understanding, a quick snippet, I would say always look at any business which you look. Always look at EBITDA margin. That is one thing. Your PAT margin. Second thing. Most importantly, look at their creditors, debtors, and inventory. That is the place that's called work. Combine this three is called working capital. That is a place where most of your cash gets stuck. That is a place where most of the businesses struggle. जो cash flowing business है, that is the best business you can have. Any private equity, any venture capital, could be any startup. So coming to the next point which I was about to discuss, which is viewing the company from P's perspective. Any company or any startup or any business, when is seen by a P firm, first thing they always see is how is the company doing in terms of margins or how it is doing in terms of actual business. So let me give you a simple example. I know we're running short of time. They'll just take 10 minutes more. Um, Simple example is when we look at the company in terms of a business compared to the similar company in that industry. So we first thing we check is the margin. So we see कि अच्छा ठीक है, इंडस्ट्री का मार्जिन. व्हाट यू से इंडस्ट्री का मार्जिन मतलब बाकी सब कंपनी इन द सेम इंडस्ट्री is doing say a margin of 10%, but this company is doing a margin of 15%. So that means this company is doing something different. What is that different? That analysis we start. That is called company analysis. First we did was industry analysis कि भाई margins कितना है. Then we check at working capital कि यार इतना अच्छा कर रहा है, दैट मीन्स कि ये वर्किंग कैपिटल या कैश फ्लो ज़्यादा दे रहा होगा. वो डेटर्स को बोल रहा होगा कि यार ठीक है, आप 30 दिन नहीं, आप मुझे भले 90 डेज में पैसा दो. इज दैट द केस? वी सी के नहीं यार, ऐसा तो नहीं है. दे आर डूइंग अ सिमिलर working capital as your industry, as your other companies. So in that case, we see that your company is doing good. Then we say that your company is doing good, your margins are better. Is this industry a growing industry? For example, um, these days, a growing industry would be your say sports industry, or say athleisure wear industry, which we normally call, or something which is like your consumer industry, something which say Nike or Mama Earth or someone like that is coming up. These kind of products are pretty much are in demand, right? So is this a growing industry? Yes, it is a growing industry. So first question comes from a PE is that. Then they check all these various contours, deal say company contours which I just mentioned: margin, working capital, who is the founder, and so and so. Then the main thing comes is valuations. How how do I value a company? Now I'll just show you a DCF valuation out here. We please don't get too much technical on this. How do we actually derive a DCF? अब DCF क्या होता है? Which is called discounted cash flow. जो पैसा मुझे 5 साल बाद मिलने वाला है उसकी कीमत अभी क्या है? That is my discounted cash flow. अब कैश फ्लो कैसे निकालें, मेरे पास कैश फ्लो तो है, नो, नॉट इन दिस वे, वी आर डूइंग इट इन डिफरेंट वे. हमने पहले एबिटा लिया, ओके, हमने पहले एबिटा लिया जो हमने ऑलरेडी डिराइव किया हुआ है, उसमें से टैक्स माइनस किया. क्यों? क्योंकि टैक्स तो मैं एक्चुअली पे करने वाला हूँ, इट इज कमिंग, इट इज गोइंग आउट फ्रॉम माई पॉकेट. ओके, नाउ देन वी डिराइव चेंजेस इन वर्किंग कैपिटल. अब ये चेंजेस इन वर्किंग कैपिटल क्या है यार? नथिंग, इट इज जस्ट माई क्रेडिटर्स, डेटर्स कितने चेंज हुए हैं. If you remember, I told you cash flow is just a change between previous year to this year. So we saying what is the changes in that? अगर मेरा पैसा जा रहा है, it will be negative. That means कि मेरे debtors मुझे बाद में पैसा दे रहे हैं, but creditors मुझे पहले, मेरे से पहला पैसा ले रहे हैं. That's why my working capital is negative. बाद में capex. That means what is the capex we have done in that business so far or in that year. Just add all of them, we'll get free cash flow or FCF. FCFE. You might have heard about this term. Jojo might have seen the business earlier or say studied about accounting terms earlier. Free cash flow to equity, FCFE. अब देन हमने कहा कि यार एक डिस्काउंट फैक्टर लेते हैं. नाउ व्हाट इज दिस डिस्काउंट फैक्टर यार? डिस्काउंट फैक्टर इज नथिंग, यू वुड हैव नोन के वैल्यू ऑफ मनी इज ऑलवेज डेप्रिशिएटिंग. आज से 10 साल पहले एक वड़ा पाव 5 रुपये में मिलता था, आज वही वड़ा पाव 15 रुपीज में, 10 रुपीज में मिलता है. तो दैट डिफरेंस इन द मनी आफ्टर 5 years नीड्स टू गेट पुट इन दिस थिंग. नाउ विल से यार वो तो ईजी है, आप कोई भी परसेंटेज ले लो. नो, आप कुछ भी परसेंटेज नहीं ले सकते. क्यों नहीं ले सकते? फॉर अ सिंपल रीजन कि हमें एक चीज डिटरमाइन करनी होती है जिस कॉल्ड वैट. नाउ व्हाट इज वैट? Again, a new terminology, a new thing, or something which is very fancy. WACC is nothing but just the cost of debt plus your cost of equity. It sounds very simple. I'll make it very simple for you. Cost of debt क्या होता है? आपका इंटरेस्ट अमाउंट, चाहे 12% है, 10% है, वट एवर इट इज. मेरे पास डेट है ही नहीं, तो इट इज जीरो फॉर मी. सिंपल एज दैट. अब कॉस्ट ऑफ इक्विटी क्या होता है? कॉस्ट ऑफ इक्विटी ये थोड़ा ट्रिकी है. I will not get deep into this. I will each and every, I'll just give you a pretty simple thing out here. Now, each and every country has its own risk-free rate. What do I mean by risk-free rate? Is the bond rate of that country. You will get it normally from RBI or SBI business. Sorry. Normally, you will get it on the RBI website. A risk-free rate आपको मिल जाता है, या फिर गूगल करोगे तो भी मिल जाएगा, India risk-free rate. Then, what is the मार्केट रिस्क प्रीमियम? व्हाट डू आई मीन बाय दिस इज, यार मैं एक प्राइवेट कंपनी में इन्वेस्ट कर रहा हूँ और एक लिस्टेड कंपनी में इन्वेस्ट कर रहा हूँ. एक छोटी कंपनी है, एक बड़ी कंपनी है, तो मेरा रिस्क ज़्यादा होगा. तो आई विल से कि ठीक है, मेरा मार्केट रिस्क है ना बहुत ज़्यादा है, तो आई विल पुट दिस एज 20% और आई विल पुट इट एज 15%. दिस इज समथिंग विच इज डिपेंड्स ऑन दी from it depends on the CA or depends on the valuer who does this thing. In your case, I think you can discuss it with your seniors or with your you need to study further on this thing, like how do we determine this risk premium. You can also refer to the similar companies in the same industry. उसमें भी आपको ये मिल जाएगा. Then there is a call risk-free beta. Now I will not get much into this because this is something very complicated. Just think this as a market index or something which is you can get it from Google or say Bloomberg, but I will not get deep into this market beta. This is a long topic to actually cover. Combining these three, you will get cost of equity. अब कैसे? I'll just add risk-free rate plus my beta into difference between your market premium एंड रिस्क फ्री रेट, मतलब उतना अमाउंट एक्चुअली मेरे लिए रिस्की है. You can check all this formula from the Excel which will provide you after this session. And then just I'll check भाई कॉस्ट ऑफ इक्विटी इतना है और मेरा कॉस्ट ऑफ डेट इतना है. तो अगर मैं दोनों को कंबाइन करता हूँ उसी प्रपोर्शन में, इक्विटी मेरा 100% है, डेट मेरा 0% है, तो दिस इंटू दिस, दोनों को प्लस किया, एंड देन हाउ विल डिटरमाइन वैक. अब वैक कैसे कैलकुलेट होता है यहाँ पे, विल सी कि भाई मेरा रिस्क फ्री रेट इतना है, मेरा डेट एज ऑन डेट इज दिस मच, वी आर इन 21 जुलाई, सो मेरा एक्चुअल ईयर अभी कौन सा चल रहा है, द डेट वी हैव, द डिफरेंस इन दैट ईयर, एंड देन this formula will help you to actually determine the discount factor. So I'm sorry I'm running this because we are running short of time, otherwise I would have explained to you in detail. This is just I'm saying कि difference between two dates, what is the time frame, उसको उतने ही days में और उतने ही time frame में मैं एक discount factor ले रहा हूँ, which is this amount out here, 1 plus C40 you would see, उतने ही टाइम फ्रेम में इसको डिस्काउंट करो या फिर माइनस करो या फिर इसको रिड्यूस करो. दिस इज व्हाट दिस फॉर्मूला डज फॉर मी. सो दिस इज हाउ आई डिटरमाइन डिस्काउंट फैक्टर. I will then just multiply this, my actual free cash flow, to this discount factor, and then in the end add all of this. Okay. Now there's one thing called terminal cash flow. अब ऑफ कोर्स 5 साल के बाद मेरा बिजनेस बंद तो नहीं होने वाला, इट विल गो ऑन कंटिन्यूइंग. तो ऐसे कि ठीक है, उसके बाद भी है ना मेरा बिजनेस 5% से तो ग्रो होते ही जाएगा. So that's what we put terminal growth rate. And what we did was जो एक्चुअल कैश फ्लो है उसको हमने 5% से लेके परपेचुइटी तक हमने उसको गिन लिया एक अमाउंट, सेइंग कि ओके दिस इज माय टर्मिनल कैश फ्लो गोइंग अहेड. नाउ व्हाट इज द प्रेजेंट वैल्यू ऑफ द टर्मिनल कैश फ्लो. ये तो उस साल का, ये तो उस टाइम का हुआ. तो हमने कहा ठीक है, सबसे लेटेस्ट डिस्काउंट फैक्टर क्या है, विच इज द लास्ट ईयर, उससे हम उसको मल्टीप्लाई करेंगे टू गेट दी प्रेजेंट वैल्यू ऑफ टर्मिनल कैश फ्लो. अब हमने 5 साल का गिना और परपेचुइटी का गिना, तो टोटल इक्विटी वैल्यू इज दिस मच, this plus this. This is how you actually calculate your equity value, which is your जिसे हम कहते हैं इक्विटी वैल्यू. अब इसमें अगर कोई डेट है या कुछ है तो इसमें से माइनस होगा. ओके, I think that's how majorly your DCF is done, and we get the valuation of the company. And yep, this is, I think, we do the valuations. Then the deal contours is something which we actually discuss with various. Each and every company has a different type of deal contours and different way of doing the deals. कोई कहता है कि यार हमें इतना डेट दे दो, कोई कहता है इतना इक्विटी दे दो, कोई कहता है कि यार मैं ये वैल्यूएशन पे जाऊंगा, कोई कहता है अलग वैल्यूएशन पे. So different deals have a different structure. For example, I'll just give you one simple example. That recent deal which we closed was in the diagnostic center, one of the very famous diagnostic centers which we did the deal for in Kerala. So for them, it was pretty simple that you put this much of revenue, you put this much of funding, private equity was funding that company. You put this much of funding in that company and you'll get this much of equity, and plus you will also get this much of revenue or say royalty every year. So different structures has a different companies has a different structures. So your deal contours will all depend on what kind of company valuation you have done, what kind of company analysis you have done, what kind of structuring you are setting it for the company. So in fact, deal structure itself is a big topic. Going further, we can, if possible, we can surely cover that as well. But I think that's it from my side, guys. If you guys have any further questions, please feel free to put it now. And I think you can even follow us at Whiteout Ventures and on Instagram and other places, and LinkedIn and so on. And I think we can surely connect out there. And if you guys have any doubt, please feel free to put it out there as well. But that's it from my side. If you have any questions so far, please let me know now.
Hi guys, if you have any questions from your end, please feel free to put them in chat and Kunal will surely answer them. And for those who are asking for the PPT and Excel, the PPT and Excel will be shared after this session. You can watch the comment box or the YouTube video description and you can find the link over there. Uh, Anything you want to add, Kunal? Okay. Here, Nishant Kumar says the fintech sector seems to be having limping because of harsh RBI regulations.
Well, you're saying what is okay? You're saying what are my views on that? Okay, okay, okay. Well, I will not have any specific comment, or I will not quote myself on that. But see, RBI has its own reasons. If they allow certain things or they disallow certain things, there is a reason behind that. Just by saying that it's harsh, or say regulations are pretty much harsh for fintech sector, I will not buy that. Uh, of course, they have their own reasons. They have already provided those reasons to the respective industry, and I think they're still in discussion. Of course, there will be a way out. There's always a way out like that, and I think until unless we do not get into the end of those discussion, and final result is still not out yet. So I think better not to uh, quote anyone, or putting our view on that. Any questions related to the financial model, or something which you didn't understand, please let me know.
Uh, all right, guys. So the model that Kunal was working on today, you can find it on the website of Whitehall Ventures. I'll just show you where to find it. Yeah. So you can go on to the Whitehall Ventures website, and when you scroll down to the bottom, you will find the sample business plans and financial models for a startup and entrepreneurs. So when you click on Show Me, you will be redirected to a Google Drive link, and that is where you can find the model that Kunal has been working on in the today's session.
So, Rohan, if you can just show it, is it okay if I share the screen and show it to them?
Sorry?
Is it okay if I share the screen and show it to them where to actually find this model?
Yes, yes, I'm just sharing my screen with them. Just give me a second. Yeah, can you guys see my screen? Yes. So when you scroll down to the homepage of vitalventures.com, over here you can find sample business plans and financial model for our startups and entrepreneurs. Just click Show Me, and you will be directed to a Google Drive, and here you can find the model that we are working on. Right, Kunal?
Yeah, so we have other financial models as well out here. We have pitch deck as well out here. We have teasers as well out here. So if anyone wants to go and play around with it, please feel free to do that. If you have any questions, you can visit our website and get our you have all the details out there on the phone number, and our email ID, everything is out there. Please feel free to do that.
Right. So, if you have any questions, please let us know. Okay,
I
is
think there is.
there a detailed course for financial modeling? Sure, Krishna, we can arrange for a detailed course in financial modeling, and we will let you know. Please follow us on our social platforms, and you will be updated about what all courses are we coming with. And you can also download our application, and all the updates will be given in the app as well.
I think there's one question from Nishant saying any range of PE values to filter down the companies.
Yes. Any
Uh,
range.
so let me first give you a heads up. What is a PE value? A PE value is a price to earnings value, which is normally found in the listed companies. PE value is something which is nothing but a value given to a company for its earnings. So it's price divided by your earnings. What is the total number of price? So now it is how do we actually? I'm just breaking it down to make everyone realize what exactly we do in this PE ratio. What we say is what is Nishant asking. So we are just actually taking the market value of the company. When I say market value, you would have heard of this term called market cap. Now market cap is nothing but a market value of a company. मतलब आज की तारीख में अगर वो कंपनी को पूरा का पूरा हाइपोथेटिकली अगर वो कंपनी को पूरा का पूरा बेच दे तो उसको वो पैसा मिलना चाहिए. That's again a hypothetical situation. Uh, so how is that derived? Total number of shares into your price. That's your market cap. Now, when you divide that market cap with the earnings of that company, now what is earnings? Your total profit, which we just saw, profit after tax, divided by number of shares. So that is called your earnings per share. So just understand what I'm doing. Price per share, earnings per share. And I divide that. It's called price to earnings. Just remove the per share part. Just your price to earnings. So that's how we do price to earning values. Now, when the more the P value, the higher is the valuation of that company. मतलब उस कंपनी को हम ज़्यादा वैल्यू दे रहे हैं कंपेयर टू इट्स अर्निंग्स बिकॉज योर न्यूमरेटर इज हायर देन योर डिनोमिनेटर. Simple as that. Simple maths. Now, his question is any range of P value to filter down. Well, that depends on different industry. Now, if you go and check any of the tech industry, especially like say Google's and Microsoft, or say let's come to Indian companies, Infosys or say TCS of the world, you will see a P value of 30, 35, 36, or even 40, or even more than that. That's nothing wrong in that. That's because that company has a very good growth potential in future, and that's the future of the of the world going forward. Hence, people are given a higher valuation in the company. So does it mean that the lower p value is uh, does it mean that the lower p value is bad for the company? No, that's not the case. It depends again on company to company, where say manufacturing companies or other specific companies will have a lower p value. It's just how the different companies are seen by different industry people, and how it is seen by the investors. So there is nothing specific right or wrong as a company as a whole, but you have to look for it from the industry per se. And of course, if there is an outlier, you can remove those and filter that. So I hope I have answered your question, Nishan.
Kunal, there is one other question from Suyash. White Owl Ventures provide internship also?
Yes, we do provide internship. In fact, we have already hired a couple of interns currently, and I think the new internship will start in July, right? I think mostly in September or October we'll again come up with a new internship program. Currently, we already have hired 3 interns, and we normally hire it from Internshala, or say you can send your resumes to us. You know, whenever we start with the program, we'll ask our HR to get in touch with you.
Sure. All right. I guess I don't think there are any more questions from there. students. And thank you, Kunal. Thank you for doing this,
Thank you.
and thank you everyone for attending this on a Sunday afternoon. It was great having you on board, Kunal, and we look forward to do more such sessions for the
Will be
students.
pleasure. Will be my pleasure. Thank you so much, Rohan and the whole team of Zeprel, and you guys are doing a great job. And thank you so much, all the students out here who listened to me. And I hope I was bit helpful to you guys in understanding specifications of financial modeling. Still, if you guys have any questions, you can follow us on our on social network, or you'll find our email IDs everywhere on our website and everywhere. You can just email it. We will be happy to help you guys out.
All right. Well, thank you, Kunal. I'll just end the stream over here. Thank you for
Thank
attending,
you.
everyone. Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye.